It is spring 1918, U.S. turn. Things are very bleak in France, but we need to get on with our turn. So here we go. While I'm here, just so you can see, I am completing this dread for the Americans, moving one up. Spending 49, I'm spending all 50 IPP, but that was 6, another 12 on transports, 6 in colonials, 9 in infantry, 1 marine for another 4. I'm sending the British a TBD. I am going to brave Lend-Lease delivery for the Ukrainians, and I'm going to send the French in infantry. I am rolling 1 free diplomacy and paying for 1. Tech is the same that I've been doing: hurricane bombardment, defense in depth, depth charges, strategic bombers, all color coded. Need a 7 for everything. And I only get green, so depth charge and hydrophones goes to stage 2. Rolling diplomacy first for Spain. And that's a 1. So Spain goes to state level 1 for the US. And then rolling my diplomacy that I'm paying for against the Netherlands, and a 4. So that's a no-go. While I'm here, the Chinese have a nice little pot to spend, 10 IPP, and produce 2 infantry, 2 militia. With that said, my cat is talking to me again. She has lots of doubts about my attacks. And of course, I dropped a few things. So I apologize if in advance if I get several things wrong, because I am trying to rush through this. Okay, so I'm essentially moving the fleet to attack. This is a desperate gambit, but if I do not take the Philippines back, that's a point. I'm going to use 2 subs. I'm going to use the coastal to raid and 2 subs to attack his pre-dreads. And then, of course, my standard raids for my mines, which he is quickly cleaning up. And then Mexico, as well as a big attack into Gran Chaco, and then some non-combat movement, which will get me to Portugal with all these units. The Americans in Lorraine are going to stand fast with the French. They're going to die on the line if they have to. Okay, I've already set up basically for Mexico and things down there in South America. So starting with Mexico, I have 1 artillery, 4 infantry, 3 cavalry. 3 of the infantry are going to be boosted. So starting with the artillery, you need to knock out that 1 lone militia. And of course not. 3 cavalry and a boosted infantry in the mountains, and that's it. So I'm going to roll his defense, and he gets a 7. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time updating that on the board. Essentially, Mexico goes to a neutral position on the diplomacy board. The benefits to the Americans are primarily in technology, which I already have, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then we would move those units off the mini-map on into eastern Mexico, and by my count, that gives eastern Mexico 2 cavalry, rounding up, by the way, 3 infantry and an artillery. So that's half the units not rolling for their I'm not rolling for their recruitment. So the revolution is done with minimal benefit. Okay, so in Granchenko, I am attacking from every single direction. I have 3 artillery. Brian has 1. He has 6 infantry that are entrenched, so it's going to be hard for me to break the trench line. I'm bringing the 1 infantry over the mountain from Chile. I'm bringing 4 infantry from the south, and then another. There's 3 artillery, 3 cavalry, 3 boosted infantry, and 3 regular infantry that are coming from Pampas. The cavalry from cannot move 2 spaces from Rio because the jungle slows him up. So let's start with artillery. Obviously, I need a great big break here. And I get 1 hit. 1 hit, so that's good. And starts working on the trench line. So I didn't ask Brian, but I assume he would take an infantry. I don't know, maybe not. I'm gonna assume he's gonna take the artillery, but his artillery gets to fire first, and his artillery gets a 1. So his artillery comes off, and I'm going to lose an infantry. We can work that out if otherwise. I have 3 boosted infantry, 3 cavalry, all of the 3 coming over the flatlands. 1 hit. So that's a hit. And then all of my other infantry. The casualty I took was the infantry coming over the mountain, so these are the rest of my infantry. And I get 2 more hits, so that is a total of 3 hits. That's going to break the trench line, but first he gets a rebuttal. So he has 6 at 6. And he gets 1, 2, 3 hits. So I will lose 3 more infantry. So I am going to take off 4 infantry. I'll take off 4 infantry. He will lose 3 infantry and the artillery. So let me go adjust that. 3 infantry in the artillery. I will lose a total of 4 infantry. Okay. Broken the trench line. Gonna keep going. Infantry will go down to a 4. So he will defend now at a 4. Round 2, artillery, that's 2 hits. I'm hoping this is gonna do it. Cavalry, boosted infantry, yeah, that's 2 more hits, so I'm good. I've broken him. Let's see what he gets in return. 1 hit. 1 hit up here, so with that stated, I'll lose another infantry. Oh, I had a colonial. I didn't even declare him. Oh well. It'll be useful later. So that moves me in with 3 infantry, 3 artillery, 3 cavalry, 6 infantry. The colonials stay back. The cavalry from Rio will walk 1 into Pampas. take off? Yeah. So my losses are a total of 4 infantry, which I will add to my dead board. I have to keep track of my infantry or my unit losses because that impacts another objective for me. That location was worth 1 IPP, so Brian down 1, and I'm tracking 33, and the US up to 44. Okay, in all likelihood, well, I'm probably not going to get my objective. Let's start first with a little rating. The mine in P14, total bust there, and the mine in P15. Okay, that raged for 1 off that line. And then the coastal sub gets a +1 in the territory just to the south in P41, and that's a bust. And then I have 2 submarines attacking his pre-dread. They roll at a 3. And that's a miss. Pre-dread gets to defend at a 7. And submarine at a 3. And he gets a hit, so I think that's a good place to stop, especially since I just lost a submarine. I'll stay in that C zone. Okay, and then for the desperate gamble to take the Philippines back, I'm moving forward a dread. There are 3 transports, 3 battle cruisers, 3 TBDs, a commander, 1, 2. I am attacking with 1, 2, 3 Marines, well, 4 or 5. 5 Marines and infantry. 5 Marines and an infantry. And the Philippines is jungle? Jungle? I don't know. Looks like it. So I am going to get a shot at 4 with my dread, and 3 shots at 3 with my battle cruisers, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at 2. No, 6 at 2. 6 at 2 with my Marines and infantry. You know, yeah. And then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 at 2. And 2 at 4. So like I said, this is fairly... All right, so here is my shore bombardment. 2 hits. 2 hits. So I'm going to take 1 militia and 1 colonial off for Brian. Magic shore bombardment is over. And then I have a very desperate 6 at 2. 1 hit. So 1 hit. He has 3 at 2, 2 at 4. Oh, glory be. Not a single hit. Well, that's beautiful. And totally unexpected. So he loses So he's down to 2 colonial, 2 naval infantry. So again, no hits this time. He gets 2 and 2. Again, nothing. A 4, 11, and 9, and an 8. All right, that can't last. I'm gonna lose that infantry if I don't. And since I got no hits, it's doubtful I get 4. But I get 1. So I get 1 hit. He still gets a rebuttal. And this time he gets 2. This time he gets 2. So I'm going to lose an infantry and a marine. So the rest of the Marines can go back on their ship. And he loses another colonial. So he's down to 1 colonial and 2 naval infantry. I'm down to 4 Marines, which probably not going to take that back. So he's just going to continue reinforcing it. All right, so non-combat moves. See if I can make this clear. From P68, I have a damaged dread that is moving 2 spaces to the Samoa Islands, along with a transport, an infantry, and a naval or a marine. The other, the dread here is going to move 1 space to P77 off the coast, or P78 off the coast here. You can see the rest of my units. I already gave the disposition for Pampas and the disposition for Mexico. I'm going to have units to place, obviously. This side of the board, I'm going to non-combat move 2 transports, 2 TBDs, and the 4 infantry to Portugal, along with a speed move for these guys out of New Orleans. Strategic naval move also to Portugal. So that brings that up to 5 infantry, 1 marine, and 3 transports, 2 TBDs off the coast, out of port, because there's no port I can go into. And let's do some placement. A lot of cleaning up to do. Going to place a colonial in Patagonia, a colonial in Chile, and a colonial into Pampas. I'm placing 2 transports in A30, along with 3 infantry and a 3 infantry into Washington, D.C., and the Marine into the Carolinas. Looking at that submarine of Bryant's, but it is what it is. I am placing a French infantry into Normandy, and I'm placing a TBD into A21. No, sorry, the English Channel, whatever A that is. I'm going to attempt to deliver the infantry to Crimea, and I'm placing the dreadnought off the coast here in the southwest United States. I believe all other non-combat has taken place. Let's see if I can make that delivery. Actually, I'll go around. Okay. That submarine is red. Enemy is red. So, and the submarine wins. So that is a failed delivery to the Ukraine. Literally, they got sunk. By the way, I'm currently tracking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 land units as casualties. All right. U.S. income is 44. Spain is at level 1. So 44 plus wartime income of 6. 44, 6, 50. Okay, I already told you what the Chinese are spending. A couple quick attacks. 2 cavalry and an infantry into northern Manchuria, and everything except this infantry. I'll send one of those, and we'll send this conglomerate minus the militia into Shenxi. I'm trying for that for quite some time. All right, so let's start with 2 cavalry and an infantry against his infantry in northern Manchuria, and boy, it would be help if I did cards first. Watch him steal the money. I'm sure there's another one of those. Xinjiang gets a cavalry, so that's, I'm gonna place that cavalry into Xinjiang. Anhui gets a mountain infantry. Okay, so that's going to be a roll-off. Basically, mountain infantry, his most likely placement is going to be in the same territory where I have a mountain infantry, which is Suwon. He defends at a 5. I attack at a 2. It's going to be ugly. All right, so defender is red, and he... and I win. All right. Lastly, Zili, which is greenish, gets a cavalry to any territory. So again, this is going to be kind of ugly. The only territory he can go into is Yunnan. I will defend 2 out of 4. He has 1 out of 2 because it's mountainous territory. And he gets a hit, so I lose an infantry. All right. Warlords. I guess that guy won't be attacking now. And then it's a miss. Miss. And we both hit. So he doesn't take the territory, but it's currently unoccupied. All right. So I'm going to have a change of heart, and I'm going to end up non-combating move an infantry. I'm still going to attack. I've got a lot of placements. So, all right. So my attack: 2 cavalry and an infantry into northern Manchuria. It's a miss. His defender, miss. I can actually roll them all together, and that's a hit. So northern Manchuria falls to 2 cavalry and an infantry. That territory is worth $1. So China goes up 1 to 9. China goes up 1 to 9. All right, and then I have 2 artillery going into a mountain territory. He has 1, so his defender, I'll just roll them all together. Artillery. I get a hit and no retreat. he gets a hit. No, he does not get a hit. He rolled a 12. So I'm going to take the artillery off because it's probably the last attack. So I have a boosted infantry and a boosted mountain and a regular infantry, and it is mountain terrain. So the boosted infantry is pink, a mountain, I'm sorry. Yeah, the mountain is at the regular infantry, sorry, the boosted mountain and the boosted infantry. So let's see what happens. Okay, everybody misses. He has a mountain at a 5 and a cavalry at 2. And he hits, of course. So I lose an infantry. I'm down to 2 artillery. So let's roll for the 2 artillery. 1 hits. So, and nobody retreats. That's a hit. Boosted infantry. Pink. And mountain is yellow because it's boosted also. Okay, the mountain retreats, but the infantry gets a hit. So that is 2 hits, which will wipe him out. His rebuttal, the mountain is red, and he gets a hit. So I will lose my attacking infantry because my mountain retreated. He loses a mountain and a cavalry. So I take Shensi with 2 artillery. And that is worth $1. Brings me to 10. Okay. So let me roll. I don't need to roll recruitment. I get an automatic infantry. I'm going to place him in Yunnan. I'm going to roll for a warlord. I'm going to roll for Tibet. And that's a miss. I'm going to place 2 infantry and a militia. I'm going to place a infantry in Western Manchuria. I'm going to place an infantry into Qinghai, a militia into Yunnan because it has a manpower of 2, and a militia into Peking. So quick disposition, a little vulnerable up here. Got an infantry, 2 cavalry in the north, and western I have an infantry. Here, Rihi, I have 2 infantry and a militia. Mountain, that won in that random event. I placed a militia here in Peking. I didn't move any of the units here. I took Shensi with 2 artillery. I had a mountain that retreated, had a militia. I placed an infantry and a militia here in Yunnan, and I placed that infantry in Qinghai, which makes it 2. Okay, that's enough of that. China collects 10. Now for random events, as well as the possible end of the game. So let's start with random events. Summer in the West. 4. Spanish flu. Of course, USA and France must each remove a total of 2 infantry class units in home country, and each territory in their home country produces 1 less manpower. USA casualties don't count against the objective. So I'm going to remove 2 militia from Texas, which will bring it down to 2. Tim is going to be less than happy about that one. That's all he needed was more Frenchmen dying to disease. Okay, in the east, another 4. Central America, place 1 free neutral infantry in Central America. Resolve combat immediately if Central America is controlled or aligned by a major power. So basically, we just put an infantry in Central America. It's not an attacking unit. So that was probably about as benign as it gets. Okay, so no capitals have fallen. That means that the game ends on the die roll of a 1. All right. Die roll of a 1. Certainly nobody would cry. Honestly, it hurts the Allies quite a bit if the game ends, just as much as if it keeps going. I guess it will impact the game whether or not it is a partial victory or total victory for the Central Powers. The other thing it does is it then starts a clock countdown for the Russians and all their activity, what they need to do in order to potentially come in second place. So here we go, no modifiers because no capitals have fallen. And 11. 11 does not end the game. So we will continue as we go into the summer of 1917. So that'll give me the possibility of taking 1 victory objective out of in South America. Highly unlikely to do anything in the Philippines, but we'll try. And things are looking really bad for France. But hey, we stood with you. We're still on the front lines in Lorraine, even though my inclination is different. So good luck to everybody as we enter into this next round.